Hello, I'm Elisa Zhang, and I am a physician as well as a life and money coach. The biggest mistake I see physicians make with their money is simply not learning about their finances and learning how to manage their money. So you may have heard Dr. Una of EntreMD say that you are the CEO of You Incorporated. What I want to tell you is that you are the CFO of You Incorporated as well, and you really need to know where your money's going and what's happening to it. Even if you're working with a financial advisor, you need to understand what is going on and not just hand over your money to someone else. So big mistakes that I see physicians making by not knowing about money literacy is things like not saving enough money for retirement or financial freedom so that they may work a long career and find that they have to significantly scale back their lifestyle if they want to stop working. Many physicians think that if they just max out their retirement accounts, that that'll be enough. But generally, that's actually not enough because of how much we make as physicians. You typically want to actually save and invest 20% of your gross income. So before taxes, how much you're making from the very gross amount in order to actually be able to have enough money during retirement so that you can actually continue your current standard of living. And depending on your financial situation, you may even need to save more than 20%. So if you're making $200,000 a year, that's saving $40,000 a year. And the retirement accounts, if you just have like a 403B, if you're an employed physician at a hospital, or a 401k, you're an employed physician for a clinic, the max contribution is $19,500. If you're also doing a backdoor Roth IRA, then that's another $6,000. And if you're older, there is some catch-up money, but still that's not getting you to the 40,000. So you're going to actually need to save and invest more money in a brokerage account. And I really mean save and invest. So that's another mistake I see physicians making, is that they do save the money, but they leave it in cash. And that cash is just eroding away, especially right now we're in a time period of very high inflation. So that cash is actually devaluing over time. You need to invest in ways so that it can increase in value. You also want to just understand some basics about investing. You don't have to spend a lot of time to learn personal finance. If you even just spend an hour a week, after a few months, you'll know everything that you need to know. If you're watching my videos, you'll get a lot of that information. I'm also starting a podcast. So you don't have to sit from your computer to watch these videos. You can actually listen to the podcast, download it to your phone, and listen when you're driving or working out or cooking or whatever you're doing. So there are lots of resources in order to actually learn more about finances. And in terms of investing, if you just want to keep it simple, you could just put everything into a total stock market index fund with a very low expense ratio and just let it ride. That's the easiest way to just invest your money over long periods of time. That's going to balance out. I know the stock market right now is very volatile and it's been dropping. And so it may feel scary to buy stocks right now, but think about it. You're really actually buying at a discount. The companies are still making money. They're still profiting. They're still growing, but there's some correction involved. And stock prices, well, when you buy a piece of stock, you're actually buying a small piece of equity in the company. So when you buy a total index stock fund, you are buying a small piece of every single company in the United States. And lots of companies are doing extremely well. Yes, some companies aren't doing well, but it all balances out and our economy is still growing and moving forward. And again, over time, that's going to be a very nice investment to keep growing, and it's certainly going to outpace inflation, and that compounding interest effect will continue to let your money grow. What's important is that you keep your fees low, because fees will really cut into your investment returns. And so this is part of, if you use a financial advisor, then they probably are charging you a fee to actually manage your money. A 1% assets under management fee is not uncommon. It can be lower if you have higher amounts of money invest, but it could also be higher. And then because they're managing your money, they don't just usually put you into index funds with really low expense ratios. They usually put you into actively managed funds. And now those have expense ratios of anywhere between 1.5, maybe even 2%. And so that's also really eroding on your growth investment. And you're probably thinking, well, they're a financial advisor, right? They should be picking funds that actually do better than the index. But very, very few people can actually outperform the index. And even your great investors like Warren Buffett, when he outperformed the index, it's when he had a lot less money to deploy. As he got more and more money to actually invest, eventually the best he could do was actually match the index, because once you get so much money, it's hard to find those gems of really hidden value and great deals, such that the best thing you can actually do is match the market. And Warren Buffett all the time says that he just recommends the average person just invest in a low cost index fund. So now I'm going to pull up some graphs to show just how much expenses actually affects your investment returns. So here you can see a figure of investment growth of a low cost and a high cost fund. And this is with a 10,000 initial investment. So both funds assume an initial 10,000 investment at 8% annual growth. The time period is 30 years. The low cost fund is a no load fund that has expense ratio of 0.2% and has initial value of 10,000 invested. So with the annual expenses of 0.2%, then the resulting value at year 30 is $95,184. The high cost fund has a 5.75% sales load, which, if you're using a financial advisor, maybe they are doing something with the sales load because they like to profit. Then it has an expense ratio of 2% a year and a 12B minus 1 fee or dash 1 fee of 0.25%. So the initial value now is only $9,425 because of that initial load that's actually taken out. With those annual expenses, then the growth actually makes it so that in year 30, you only have $50,430. So that's a huge difference. That's almost a $45,000 difference just from those different fees. So now I'm going to share another graph that just shows the difference of expense ratios. So here are 3 different investments. The top is with just a 1% expense ratio, with 1.5%, 2%, and 2.5%. You can see how much over 30 years this is going to affect your portfolio. If you've got a $1 million portfolio in 30 years, it's the difference of 3.6 million versus 4.2 million, just the 0.5% difference in expense ratios. Unfortunately, this graph doesn't actually show if you have a 0 expense ratio. And right now, Fidelity actually has 0 expense ratio funds. So you could really grow your wealth just by having the total stock market 0 expense ratio fund, and really set it and forget it. Just put automatic investments. And that's how just knowing a little bit about finances can really make a huge difference. So just knowing enough to keep your expenses low, to keep invested, and how much you need to save, and invest. Remember, it's save and invest. Just the information in this video can literally have saved you, 6 figures of investment growth over the course of your investing career. That's why it's so important for you to just learn a little bit about your finances. Again, just spend 30 minutes, 1 hour a week. And if you do that every week for a few months, then you'll know as much as you need to in order to have a financially secure future. I'm Elisa Zhang, and I love bringing this information to you. Again, now I have a podcast called the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset Podcast. You can download it on your favorite podcast app. And I really just want to encourage all of you to, learn a little bit about finances and talk to other doctors in your life and let them know why they should learn a little bit about finances. I'm on a mission to really help doctors get financial security. And that all stems from just learning a little bit about finances and managing your money so that you can have money to enjoy for the rest of your life. If you'd like to work with me on actually, managing your money, learning more about money, learning more about different types of investing like real estate, syndications, direct real estate investing, or other options, and then just contact me. Best way is just to go to my website, growyourwealthymindset.com. You can send me a message straight from there, or you can even just sign up directly to have a Zoom meeting with me. I'd love to talk to you. Thank you.